Welcome back to Just Got Braided on BJPen.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton, episode 200. We got a good lineup here at a UFC Abu Dhabi on Saturday. First up, we're going to be joined by one half of the new co-main event, and Marcus McGhee to preview his fight against Peter Yan. This is obviously a big test for Marcus. It's a fight that he even was surprised to get, but he's really looking forward to. He knows Yan very well. He actually mimicked Yan for the O'Malley fight because him and O'Malley are teammates. So he said he learned a lot about Peter during that time, and he feels very confident going into the fight. I mean, he knows people are going to be writing him off, but he's very confident in his game that he'll be able to pull off an upset and prove that he's a legit bantamweight title contender. And then we close things out talking to Davey Grant to preview his fight against Damon Blackshear. A really good chat with Davey. But we did this about like 8-9 days out from the fight, so obviously not. He was already in Abu Dhabi, so appreciate him doing it on short notice like this. But this fight kind of was short notice. He didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. He asked for this date. The UFC told him to be on this date, but he didn't really know the opponent, but he's really looking forward to fighting a guy like Damon. It's going to be a tough test, but Davey knows with the win, he can kind of start getting those ranked guys. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and keep on listening to Just Scrap Radio and all the interviews we drop on BJ Penn.
All right, we're joined by UFC bantamweight Marcus McGhee, who's got a massive fight here in Abu Dhabi. Marcus, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going great, man.
Obviously, we've been doing these for a while. I was kind of surprised this opponent came up for you. Like, I thought maybe it was going to be one more and then someone like this. Like, you get the contract to fight Peter Yan. Like, were you pretty surprised that this is the guy you're fighting?
Yeah, absolutely, man. How can you not be surprised in the position I'm in? I know I'm winning fights and I know I'm on this fight streak, but again, I still just got into the UFC. So it was definitely surprising to get the call. Exciting as well, but surprising.
Like, I thought you were going to get a top 10 guy. I thought it was going to be around that like 10 to 7 range. You win that, then it's top 5. So to get a former champion, like the third ranked guy, like, was it just an immediate yes then when you got that offer, like to fight Jan?
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you say no to that fight? First of all, like, how do you say no to a fight like that? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're someone like me who wants to really find out where we stand in this thing. Uh, I'm pretty excited about that type of matchup. And then on the top of that, I haven't fought, and I would like to be more active than I've been. So it's nice to be fighting in an 8 month range instead of a 10 month range.
Was there any reason for a longer layoff, like from November to now, like July or?
I haven't gotten any reason, and honestly, I don't really stress my team that much either. I'm not that guy, so I haven't really got on them like, "Hey, man, what's going on? I don't understand what's happening." But we've been ready to fight since around April. Honestly, I could have been ready for March if that was something that was talked about before. But April at least. So we end up getting July, and that's when it is.
Obviously, a ton of bantamweights. You work with Kyler, like just O'Malley's there too, like who's fought Jan. So like, how beneficial is that? Just getting like, were you kind of already fought and trained against these high level top ranked bantamweights before, anyways?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've been a part of these camps for a long time, and I don't feel like a lot of changes other than the fact that I'm the one fighting now, and I have to perform. So other than that, like I was there for Sugar's camp with Peter. I helped him with that camp as well. And not to say that that like puts me in some crazy bracket where I understand every move he makes, but I've definitely watched Peter for a long time. How can you not as a fan of the sport? So I know what he brings. I know how tough he is and how skilled he is. And yeah, that just excites me.
Is that weird to think about for you? Like, not even 3 years ago, here you are trying to mimic Peter Yan and help out O'Malley, and now you're the one actually going to be across the octagon fighting him.
Yeah, full circle, right? It doesn't happen too many times. Like what do they say? Art mimics life or something like that. Art turned into life, and it's pretty crazy. Yeah, man. And I've been to Dubai too when Kyler fought too. So to turn around and also go to Dubai now and fight in Dubai and be the one fighting. When then I was 1-0 when I went with him. To think now, we're 10-1 and we're fighting top 10 in the world. Or top 5 in the world. It definitely is a full turnaround type of moment.
It is weird because like whenever I talk to Mario and Kyler and like when I talk to Sean like early in his career, they always brought you up even when you were like 1-0, 2-0 as a pro. They'd always say like this is the guy like you got to watch out for. So like, did that add like pressure to you, or did like was it just cool like hearing those guys like always have your back when you're only one or two fights in your pro career, being like this guy's gonna be a UFC and he's gonna be like a top 10 guy?
Yeah, I mean, it was always cool that they believed in me, and it was awesome for me because it was like I just wanted to be a part of their growth and their camp, and that's what like drove me at that time, because I was working, and this game is unforgiving. You never know whether you can provide for your family or not, and I was in a different position. So just being able to be there for them and their camps and help them and grow with them was extremely beneficial for me at the end of the day. But it was something that, I definitely have so much gratitude for.
Just a 3-round fight. Like, was there any ever talk of a 5-round? I know sometimes they make like big co-main events 5 rounds. Like, was that ever a thought?
No,
Or
no. And this is the co-co. It's not the co-main event, it's the co-co. So the
yeah,
co-main event is a 5 round, but no, we're not a 5 round. And that never even got talked about. I think that just based off of like the like how everything's working and how they put the fight together, and they wouldn't normally put a fight like this together anyways. I think that they kind of just gave us a 3 round fight. So it is just a 3 round.
yeah, right. Because they added the Pico Evloev fight after you guys. Because originally you guys I thought would be the co-main, but then that makes I am surprised they're kind of stacking it. Like your fight or like the Pico fight easily could have headlined another card pretty easily.
It definitely could have, and I think it still just depends. Like again, this is my fifth fight in. Contractual things like that, I think play a big part in this and where they want me to be at. So, I think that they're just happy to get somebody to take the fight against Peter. Because everybody's tied up in the division. It's a really weird moment in our division, and it's such a stacked division that this was like the only option for both of us, essentially.
Do you think those 3 rounds actually benefits you? Because like Peter throughout his career has kind of been known as a slow starter where he takes a bit of time to like kind of figure you out. And you see a lot of times those 5-round fights, like he drops the first round or first 2 rounds, and then he kind of takes over because as it gets going. It's like, do you think the 3 rounds might benefit you more then?
I think 3 rounds is different than 5 rounds, and I think he's going to approach 3 rounds different than 5 rounds. So no, I don't necessarily think that that's what gives me the advantage is the fact that he is fighting a 3 round instead of a 5 round. I have not went 5 rounds, so I could see why people would say that. I haven't had to go 5 rounds, so I can understand why people would say that'd be a complete different situation, especially in front of a big crowd, main event, all these types of things. So I can understand people's questions there. But on the 3 round, I think it makes sense for us to fight a 3 round fight, and I think he's going to be there for the first round too. I think it's going to be a high pace fight. I think he knows how to fight, and he's very skilled in the knowledge of when to go and when not to go. And I think he's going to understand that 3 rounds is not 5 rounds. He can't drop the first round. And honestly, I don't think he's going to want to drop the first round anyways. To me, if I'm him and I'm thinking like him, this is a guy who hasn't even been around. And he's coming into my territory. And what? I'm not dropping the first round. So I don't think that he's going to drop the first round or not be there for the first round or be a slow starter.
Uh, Does that like help take any pressure off of like, I feel like some people may not know who you are going in this one and they'll just be like, oh, like Jan's gonna smoke him, where like I know you never want to lose, but it kind of seems like a spot where like you don't really have much to lose. Like if you lose, everyone kind of expect it for you.
You never want to lose, period. And I don't even, and these people that expect it, like I don't feel like they understand the sport. You know what I'm saying? On any given night, anybody can win this fight, and I don't think they understand that the work that gets put in the back end, how high the skill level is these days. So it's up to me to go out there and perform and to prove these guys wrong. Like I'm not supposed to be here. It's already. I wasn't supposed to be Jonathan Martinez. I wasn't supposed to be Gaston Bolaños. I wasn't supposed to be JP Bays. I wasn't supposed to be uh, Jerry Newsom. I wasn't supposed to get into the UFC and do what I've done, but I've done it. And now we're gonna fight Peter Yan, and we're gonna find out on July 26th how that story, how that part of the chapter ends.
Obviously, he'll have probably the crowd advantage being in Abu Dhabi. Like, how do you think? Like, have you kind of prepared for that? Like, do you do anything different in training? Like, get people booing, or like, how do you kind of deal with that?
I don't know how. I mean, like, I don't even think that would bring the same vibe. I think that you plan to be content and present in the moment. I'll be present when they're booing. You know what I'm saying? I'll be present when they're cheering as well. You know what I'm saying? So whichever way they decide to sway, that's them. I am the man in the arena. I'm the one that has answered the call and coming across the pond to take on their guys. So like, I think that I'll get more cheers than boos anyways still, based off the performance that we put on. I definitely think that the fans will quickly appreciate it.
And I mean, once you guys start throwing, I think all those boos will get into cheers if you get into a pretty fun fight that people will kind of just be kind of lost in the moment.
Yeah, 100%, man. Got to show up to these fights and fight. First of all, it's a fight. Like you guys say what they want to say. People can say what they want to say. We could say what we want to say, but we're gonna fight, and then the fight's gonna tell us everything we need to know.
Both you guys are really good strikers. I think your grappling for both you guys are kind of overlooked. I mean, like, do you think like it's probably gonna hit the ground at some point? Then, like, I know both you guys aren't huge takedown guys, but is something in the back pocket? Like, is this something you're just kind of prepared for? Or is it to kind of go all over the place?
Yeah, I'm prepared for it to go all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I think he comes to fight, and I'm gonna come to fight. And a fight goes everywhere. If it goes to the ground, then it goes to the ground, and we'll do what we need to do on the ground and can do what's open and available on the ground, and then work to get back to our striking. I think both of us are strikers, and we'd like to do most of our work in the striking department. But I wouldn't doubt if there's openings and moments for takedowns for either of us to take advantage of those, right? And then utilize those in the rest of our game.
He's obviously an extremely durable guy, never been finished. Like, how do you kind of see it playing out then?
Yeah, I'm still gonna try to finish him, man. Like, like, do I think I'm gonna get the finish? Who knows, man? We're gonna find out July 26th. But I'm definitely gonna go there with intent to find my shots, to pick my shots, to be smart, and to get him out of there. And it's not about whether or not he's been finished or not, and like trying to knock that off and be the only one. It's like my game is to finish guys, like, and it's been that way. So why would I change that now? Why would I change that mentality now? Find your shots, be a sniper, pick your shots, and finish guys. And if I can, I will.
Well, what do you think a win here does for you? Because like top bantamweight division's kind of unclear. Like Umar maybe get the shot. I think Sandhagen should get the next title shot. But like you beat Jan and you do it impressively. Like there's a chance you jump both of them in your next fights for the belt.
Anything could happen, but I'm not overlooking it. Honestly, I didn't know that we'd get to this point at this point, so I'm just again just being present in whatever's going to happen and how it's all going to play out. Maybe that does happen. I don't foresee that happening. I do think Corey Sandhagen definitely deserves the next shot. I would argue that everybody in the top five, whether or not I beat Peter Yan, deserves a shot over me. Just because I beat Peter Yan, I don't think that necessarily puts me up there in that title contention, and I'm not necessarily gonna like fight for that. If that's what they decide, then that's what they decide. But in my mind, I'm here to work. I'm here to work, and I understand where I am and what I've done, and I definitely think that there's guys that deserve it over me.
Obviously Dubai's a bit away, so who is heading out there with you?
Yeah, so I'm heading out there with John Crouch, Randy Stanky, Abel Usello, Talon Glasser, and then I'm gonna bring my wife as well.
A full crew then. Are you gonna stick? Do you stick around there and like make a little vacation and like sightsee, or do you just head home right after fights?
So New York was the only time we did that. Me and my wife stayed for like 2.5 days. So that was cool for me and her just to get that moment because with our 4 kids and our family and everything moving how it's moving, we don't get a lot of time to do that. So it was great for us to do that. We won't be able to do that for Dubai though because she's a teacher. So we were planning on trying to stay a couple days, but she has to be back the next day anyways, and it's like a 20-hour flight. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna basically get done fighting and then jump right on an airplane.
Uh, just last thing, like win or lose, like hoping to get maybe one more in this year. Like I know you want to be as active as possible. Like I imagine it's
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
get a second fight this year.
Yeah, the plan is to get at least a second fight this year. Two a year, man. Like 2 a year makes sense at least. Like when I first came in, I was talking about 4 fights. And I would love to have that. I would love to have a year when I get that. You know what I'm saying, or 2 years where I get to be that active. And it's just working that way. But yeah, at least two. At least got to be knocking out two a year.
Well, Marcus, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this again.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we're Joe UFC Bantamweight Davey Grant, who's back in action here next weekend. Davey, how's it going, man?
Well, thank you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Obviously, pretty close to the fight. You're obviously already in Dubai. When did you get out there? Like, what do you always head out there a bit early when it's this far overseas?
Yeah, I usually like to get there, get used to the air, the time difference, and things like that. So I was in Vegas preparing. I went home for a week to sort of split the time difference, trained at home with my usual guys, and then came to Dubai last Sunday. So yeah, a couple of weeks here preparing, and it does me good to just get used to the surroundings, I think.
Uh, you obviously were supposed to fight Daniel Santos in April. He kind of had a medical issue. Were you surprised it took this long to get you another fight?
No, like the UFC could have got me out a little bit quicker, I think. But I was looking forward to to getting on this card. I asked for this card specifically, so yeah. I mean, I don't mind as long as I know I'm fighting. I don't mind wherever, whenever, as long as I've got like some sort of goal. I don't mind.
And then your opponent, Damon Blackshear, like how familiar were you with him?
Sorry.
Like your opponent now in Damon Blackshear, like how
Yeah.
familiar were you with him?
Yeah, I mean, as in, like, how long have I known about it?
Yeah.
It's been, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, because it came together pretty quick. Like it wasn't a whole lot of notice for you.
Yeah, I know. It was, yeah, it was just like, I think I sort of like, I was hoping to get on this card, and then we didn't have an opponent till just a few weeks ago. So, I mean, it makes no difference. It's all the same, innit? You know, whoever you're going with is going to be a legit guy at my stage in the bantamweight division, and I'm always one who just sort of works on my game plan. I think I feel like most of the things that the people are coming out with me with I've seen before, and I feel like I'm a little bit different. I'm maybe a little bit harder to train for. I feel like they've got a game plan around me rather than the other way around.
And then Damon, like what have you made of his UFC run? Like obviously on a 3-fight winning streak, looked really good as of late. Like what do you kind of made of his last couple
Yeah,
fights?
good. He's legit. You know, he's tough. He's long. He's got some decent submissions on his resume, and he got like an orthodox Thai style. Uses his length pretty good. So it'll be an exciting fight. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great challenge, and yeah, he's on a great little run at the moment. Some good momentum. So yeah, it should be a fantastic fight.
Uh, with this one, like not a whole lot of time to prepare for him. So like, what kind of was that like 2-3 weeks like when you found out like this is the opponent?
Well, everything stays the same for me. I go and sort of like pursue what I'm gonna do no matter what I do. I sort of do the same thing, nearly all my fights type thing. I feel like I'm a bit hard to prepare for, so nothing really changed too much. You know, like the sparring partners and stuff, we would get different body shapes in. I was sort of doing the same sort of thing as what I always do type. So yeah, it's just a different face, just a different face to prepare for me. I literally do not mind who I fight.
How do you kind of see this one playing out? Like obviously he's a pretty durable guy. Like
Yeah.
I know he's a good striker. Like how do you kind of see it playing out?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a good sort of stand up fight. You know, maybe some wrestling mixed in there from either sides. I think it's going to be like you say, it's durable. So he's definitely coming for a fight. I mean, I'm going in there looking for a knockout. That's all I ever want to do. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to be best case scenario for me. But if not, we'll have a good tear up, and it'll be a great one for the fans.
I know he has been knocked out once. It was to Montel Jackson, and it was like in a couple seconds. Do you pay
Yeah.
much attention to that? Because like those quick knockouts are always like pretty weird. You don't see it too often.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, sometimes it's just good luck or great luck on the other guy's part, and then bad luck for you. You got caught cold. You know, you can't take anything away from him for that. Sometimes it happens. That's the nature of the beast, isn't it? And but I'll be hoping for one of them, guaranteed.
On a pretty good card as well. Like how excited are you to be a part of this card in Abu Dhabi? They
Yeah.
always stack these fight night cards. Like if you throw a title fight on this, like this is a pretty stacked pay per view.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is like it's worthy of a pay per view. So yeah, I'm really excited to be on this card. Some great names on there. So hopefully lots of viewing.
He is one of the taller and like Ranger bantamweights. Like how do you kind of deal with that size and length?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of the taller ones, but I fight long. I feel like I use my range really well, so I can't see it being an issue.
Then some other big bantamweight fights on the card. Like, were you surprised to see Peter Yan fight Marcus McGhee? Like that one kind of caught me by surprise that that was the fight they made.
Huge step up for McGhee, definitely. And like, good luck to him. You know, like if you get them sort of fights after he's running the UFC, he's been doing well. Petty Yan's an absolute legend of the division. You know, so that one should be a fun scrap. And then obviously you've got Bryce and
Yeah.
Saeed Nurmagomedov as well. But I thought Bryce. Sorry about that, Cole.
Yeah, I got you back. So you just cut out when
I
you're
think-
talking about Bryce dropping down.
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah, you were just talking about when Bryce is dropping down. That's when you kind of froze.
that. Yeah, so Bryce is dropping down to bantamweight. He didn't look small or outstrength at featherweight. So that's an interesting addition to the division for sure. I'm interested to see how that goes.
For you, like, does it matter? Like, where do you think a win over Damon like kind of puts you? Like, you're a guy that kind of seems like you're always right near the rankings. You haven't been able to get those ranked guys. Like, where do you think this win kind of puts you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I should hopefully, or definitely be getting a ranked opponent next. You know, like it's took a while to work my way back up. A few dodgy decisions here and there. If you ask me, I mean, I feel like I've been a bit unlucky as those regards. But from my perspective as well, I feel like I've got a decent place in the division where the people who I can fight is a big range. They could give me some, maybe even just inside the top 10, or they could give me someone who's just sort of just been in the UFC, or someone who's about to break into the top 15, and it wouldn't really matter. So it means that my pool of opportunity to fight is pretty big, which I'm excited about. But obviously, I've got my own goals and aspirations, and I want to be breaking into that top 15 next, especially with a win over Damon.
Are you hoping, like, regardless of the result, one more fight this year, probably like near the end of the year?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Two, if I can. If it was
Yeah.
up to me, I would fight twice again, as long as I wasn't injured. You know, it'd be great to go and get. It depends. It's up to the UFC. You know, if I go and get a couple of quick knockouts, then fantastic. I'll get straight back in. I know I don't want to waste any time. I don't spend time out of camp. I'm literally in camp constantly, all the time. It's not fight camps for me. It's fight life. You know what I mean? I drop a little bit of weight. That's it. So two would be perfect.
Did you go to the States for this camp, or just because it was short notice, you just stayed at home?
Over and stayed. I was a syndicate for a few. I think for my weight, especially at the minute, it's the best mat in the world. You know, I'm working with the best guys. You know, fantastic coach, and then we've got high level trainer partners on the mat. You know, like lots of UFC guys, lots of people like not in the UFC, but like UFC level, and a great family feel. So I mean, I've got great gyms at home that I train with, but I like to get over to sharpen up and just keep my head focused and sort of like. Obviously, I love my family, but to get away from the normal pressures of life and just focus on myself, it really helps.
Turning 40 at the end of the year, but it's still kind of
Yeah.
crazy, like how fast you are. Like,
Yeah.
does that cross your mind, like how much longer you got? Because you're still fighting at an extremely high level.
Yeah, it's honest. It's weird. I thought years ago I'd be done and dusted by 36 because I'm a bantamweight and speed is such a big thing. But like, I don't feel like I'm slowing down at all. My experience is obviously getting more, but like my performances, I feel are getting better and better. And I know I can hang with the best guys in the world. And I'm literally just not worried about my age at all because it's how I feel. You know, there's no point worrying about a number because it's how I feel, and I feel fantastic. This is the best I've ever. I mean, I know everyone says it's all fighter cliche, but it's true. Like because of the older I get, and I know I'm sort of getting close to the end of my career. I look after myself between camps and between fights so much more. Everything I put in my body is to the highest of standard, and like I'm very meticulous with things now, a lot more than when I was younger. I wish I knew all this back then, to be honest, but you live and learn.
Is there any, like, obviously not like calling anyone out, but like just before your career's up, is there any guys or like any places you want to fight in, like before your career's up?
Madison Square Gardens would be cool.
Yeah.
I fought there, so that would be a great one to tick off the bucket list. You know, like, and I'm about any legend fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm about any big fight. I don't mind, but like, it makes no difference. It makes no difference as long as I'm active and fighting. That's all I want to do. But Madison Square Gardens would be a good one, and I sort of want to fight in Japan. I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool. I think it's the birthplace of a lot of martial arts. That would be fun, definitely.
Yeah, it's weird. The UFC doesn't go to Japan all that much anymore, which is weird. Like the Tokyo Dome used to be like a huge. They used to go there all the time.
I know, and it's like it would be good to go and sort of like to get back there. But Abu Dhabi was a good one. I had a great fight here last time. Like it was just around about 5 years ago last week, I think. So that's a nice little omen coming up to this fight, and it's nice to get back out here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It is crazy how long ago like that Fight Island and everything started. Like I was talking to my cousin the other day, and he's like, "When was like the UFC the biggest?" I'm like, "Probably like like 5 years ago with Connor." I'm like, "Oh no, that would have been like 10 years ago, like 2015, 16." I'm like, "Holy jumping, it's been a while."
Yeah, it's snowballed. You know, you're still getting fantastic guys coming through. You're still getting fantastic cards. There's so many of them, and like sometimes even these cards that everyone will absolutely shit on
Mhm.
before they happen, and then they turn out to be absolute bangers. You know, everybody knows what they're here for, and I feel like the UFC is just like absolutely flying at the minute.
Just last thing for you, like obviously, so is Ideal World Madison Square Garden this year, and then because that's November, that's kind of works out nicely for you then.
Yeah, like if I can go, yeah, that, like ideally for me, nice quick knockout. Madison Square Garden's coming up, top 15 guy, and that would be the icing on the cake for me this year.
Actually, just another quick one. It seems like Marab Sandhagen's next. I thought Sandhagen deserved that. Like I know you
Yeah,
work with Marab at Syndicate. Like, what do you kind of
yeah.
think of that fight if it does
Oh
end
yeah,
up happening?
yeah, 100%. I mean, I think he deserves it. I think it's a great fight. Marab's there's no one beating him right now. He's honestly he's on another level. I train with the guy, and his gas tank's phenomenal, you know, and his work ethic, and he's such a good guy. He's such a really good guy, and I wish him all the best.
And like he's kind of closing in on like being in the talks to be like the best band, whatever. Like if you look
Oh
at his resume, like just all the guys he's beaten, like all the former champions, like it's pretty. Like it doesn't really get talked about. Like he's kind of closing in on like at least being in that talk.
yeah, definitely, he's going to be one of the goats, isn't he? Fantastic, yeah, and he deserves it. You know, he's putting in great performances, and like. Look what he did to O'Malley, and like look what he does to most guys. He shuts them out. He shuts them out, and this is MMA. You have to be able to deal with everything, and people can't deal with it. People can't deal with his pressure.
And he just like still doesn't get a whole lot of respect. Like I know like everyone was kind of thinking O'Malley was gonna knock him out the first fight. Then when he beat
Yeah,
O'Malley, and then it was like, oh well, Umar's like the uncrowned champion. He's gonna beat
yeah.
Merab, and it's like weird for how good and dominant he is. He like people still overlook him all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, that's the game, isn't it? That's you're always going to get that, but he just keeps proving the doubters wrong, and yeah, it's always good to see. And like, I mean, I feel like his media presence now is
Mhm.
fantastic. Honestly, his videos, he's doing things so well. He's such a likable guy. Yeah, it's good to see.
Well, Davey, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this again.
Thanks, Cole. Appreciate that,
Yeah.
man. Anytime for you.